Let's imagine we were living in the primitive and nomadic days, and this is how your typical lifestyle would go. On an ordinary day, just as many wake up today for a day job, you'd wake up and embark on a journey in search of food, water. You know that you have to get up because if you don't, neither you or your family will eat. As an integral part of this journey, you go out hunting. A fresh antelope stumbles on your trap, and just like that, your hunting scourge becomes a success. Subsequently, you return to your neighboring tribe with prey, and they partake in dancing and cultural game, which lasts for several hours. At the end of the day, you go back to sleep, wake up tomorrow, and you do it all over again. Of course, this pattern of pursuit of celebration is not for the lethargic. It requires a very high level of fitness. Following this period of nomadic and primitive hunting comes the Neolithic agricultural revolution, where plowing is introduced. Plowing is a method completely different from the primitive, because it allowed humans to obtain food while remaining in the same area. No longer did they have to embark on hunting trails. Thus, this was the beginning of an era of sedentary lifestyles. Hardships was alleviated and physical activity decreased. And due to this lack of physical movement, the people started to gain weight. Inactivity contributed to the numerous health factors, including heart disease, diabetes-like symptoms, and obesity. It was only later in ancient civilization of China where physical activity was encouraged to curb these health factors and to get people in shape. Consequently, Kung Fu gymnastics were developed, keeping the body in shape and sculpting the physical condition. In addition to these Kung Fu gymnastics, other forms of physical activity were developed through China, including archery, badminton, dancing, fencing, and wrestling. However, the story was rather different in India. Fitness was not encouraged. Instead, it was prohibited as it conflicted the religious beliefs of Buddhism and Hinduism. But individuals needed to keep fit, so an exercise method similar to Kung Fu was developed, and it allowed individuals to keep fit while still conforming to their religious beliefs. Can you guess what this method is? I'll wait. Okay, let me help you out. This method of keeping fit is popularly known today as none other than yoga. The story of its development existed for 5,000 years. Yoga was developed by a Hindu priest as a way to develop the body, mind, and spirit. He did this by observing and mimicking the movements of animals, and in doing so, the priest's intentions were for humans to achieve the same balance with nature that animals possessed. Hence, some of our well-known yoga moves today. And if you're someone who's familiar with yoga, you'll know these moves. From the cobra stretch to the downward facing dog, to the butterfly pose and the cat stretch. But the story of fitness didn't begin or end in China and in India. In the Near East, military leaders from Babylonia, Egypt, Palestine, Syria, and Persia were demanding high fitness amongst their military forces. Male children as young as 6 years old became a useful part of the Persian Empire and underwent training which involved hunting, marching, riding, and javelin throwing. Though it was never used as a means of health, instead, fitness was a means of creating able soldiers who would increase the empire. It was the Greek, however, who held fitness in high regard. The idealism of physical perfection was one that embodied Greek civilization. The Greeks' appreciation of physical beauty was one unparalleled. Gymnastics, along with music, were considered to be the most important topic in a Greek classroom, birthing the saying, "Exercise is for the body, music is for the soul." In Europe, scientific interest for training programs and identifying the most suitable activities for maintaining adequate fitness arose. And in the first decade of the 20th century, a man named Frederick Young, who was also founder of the German athletic movement, founded the first camp with equipment to carry his training programs. This camp included exercises like jumping, climbing, gymnastics, and Jean's equipment included the beam and symmetric parallel bars. It wasn't until Gustav Zander, a Swedish orthopedic physician, introduced the concept of using machines for performing physical exercises that the idea of the gym emerged. Zander's equipment were built to emulate everyday activities from climbing stairs, cycling, rowing, and running. Does this ring a bell? And it led to the first health and fitness center. In 1836. At the age of 22, Jack LaLanne, an expert in fitness, exercise, and nutrition, opened the first health and fitness center in the United States of America. He went on to accumulate more than 800 gyms in the 1980s. LaLanne imposed a new ideal of manhood, a kind with bulging muscles, pectorals, slim waist, sculpted abs, and a controlled diet. Most of the equipment we use today has been designed by LaLanne himself, including the weight selector, the cable pulley, the squat and leg extension machines. The turning point in the gym business, however, came in the 1950s with Vic Tanny, a famous bodybuilder and an entrepreneur along with LaLanne himself. New fitness equipment came to life with the basic rule of efficiency and safety. Safety was prioritized for new users who had no athletic background to train without injury. This is how equipment such as the Smith, the leg extension, the inverted leg press, the preacher curl, different types of Foolies were born. In the 1960s, a Californian known as Harold Zickin, a bodybuilder and Olympic lifter, introduced the universal machine. which included weight-stacked equipment, allowing individuals to change the size of the weight as they saw fit. Then, Arthur Jones invented the Nautilus's machine, changing the landscape of fitness equipment radically. Today, we have a platoon of different gyms emerging, with platoons of franchises to choose from. We have Virgin Active, Planet Fitness, Body Lab, and so much more. The health and fitness industry has become lucrative with the introduction of pre- and post-workout products all over the world. Reports state that people consuming these products are within the billions, with over 2,900 different dietary supplements registered worldwide. You may want to subscribe because we will be covering this in our next segment. You do not want to miss it. Anyway, let's continue. Statistics, in fact, show that sports and nutrition market is set to increase from 2022 to 2027, reaching a staggering $37 billion. Instagram and YouTube are amongst the most popular platforms for fitness influencers, with Instagram reporting over 200,000 fitness influencers and over 300,000 on YouTube. The health and fitness industry is highly lucrative without a doubt, and there are numerous items to be sold, from clothing, protective gear, sneakers, headbands. The list is endless. Judging from the history, it is a virtuous lifestyle, and I'd recommend it to everyone. Make sure to check out our video on athleisure wear. If you haven't, you'll find it very interesting. Till next time, people, stay frosty.